We are going live from the Kellie kitchen again. A little bit of an experiment. We're just gonna go with it. Tonight we are having salmon stuffed with like this creamy spinach thing. It's only the second time I've made it. It's gonna be a crispy salmon, so we will just see how it goes. I'm also gonna do a garlic string beans, and what else am I gonna do? I am going to do cauliflower rice. We're gonna try and get to fathead pizza dough. We're not actually gonna make fathead pizza. And then remember those roasted pecans that we did last week? We're gonna make those into like these little chocolate covered roasted pecan cups. So anyways, stay tuned. I just wanted to show, first of all, like this is one of my little tricks. I love getting fresh garlic already peeled. It's in these little packets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a couple of these. I'm going to chop them up a little bit. And I'm going to add them to, I've already got some onions sauteing on the stove. See? It's about a quarter of a cup of onion. And what I'm trying to do is I'm going to saute the spinach and the onions and get them into like a little mixture, and I'm going to mix them with some cream cheese and some mozzarella cheese and a little bit of seasoning, and then we're going to kind of set that aside because that's going to go into our stuffed crispy salmon. So can you hear my onions? They're starting to sizzle. Okay, so I'm going to just chop up a little bit of this garlic. I like to have my not too fancy, not too small chop. You know, it's not about perfection. We're not about, these are gonna all be cooked and kind of mashed into the salmon. So I think I have like 3 cloves of garlic here and about a quarter of a cup of onion, and then my trusty bagged spinach. So, you know, it's pre-washed, easy to do, and this whole thing will reduce down. And what happens though is that I might not even use all of this mixture for the salmon, but I can add it to, I can make, you know, just do a little bit, use a little bit of it tonight, and then maybe tomorrow night we have like a cream spinach on the side. So I'm going to take this entire bag and I'm going to pour it right into my pot. You see how much that looks like? It just looks huge. But that will completely reduce down and wilt. So just put that there. We'll kind of turn that around a little bit. Okay, just got home from work, full day. It was a great weekend. I did a lot of cooking this weekend. I don't know if any of you saw my video that I put up on YouTube 2 weekends ago, or last weekend. I did a talk at Low Carb USA. My topic was what's for dinner, how to cook for your family in a delicious low carb kitchen. And I put that up on my website, but I also put it up on YouTube. Hi! So I put it up on YouTube so everybody could see. Unfortunately, I'm not really a techie, so I sent it out in like this email, and then the thing like wasn't, like the link wasn't connected. So anyways, if you want to see it, it's on my website, thekelliekitchen.com, and I also have it on YouTube. You can go there, and I'm going to upload these, so if you don't end up staying for the whole thing, then you can go watch it later if you want to learn how to make these things. So I don't know if you can hear my spinach, but it's all cooking down and wilting, and kind of like getting some yummy flavors going in the kitchen right now. I am going to add my salt. Can you see this? No, you can't even see this. Let me turn this way. I'm going to add my salt. I did about maybe a teaspoon, and then I'll add some pepper. So I get all my salmon from Santa Monica Seafood. Oh God, that's not a good light. I get all my salmon from Santa Monica Seafood. I love them. They service California, Nevada, and Arizona. And full disclosure, we are friends with the family that owns it, but we've known them for like 20 years. The company's been around forever, and they fish sustainably, and they just always have the most beautiful selections. So I got 3 or 4 really beautiful fillets, and I like to get the thick ones because I'll slice in between them, and then I'll put this spinach mixture inside of there. Okay, our spinach is really cooking down. Remember last week when I did those roasted pecans? So we had those in the freezer. We didn't really nibble on them as much, so we are gonna make a little dessert. So I don't know if you can see this. So I put these little paper cups in this baking mat. There's about 3 or 4 roasted pecans in each one of these, and we're gonna melt some Lily's stevia sweetened chocolate, and we'll just pour those over that, and then we pop them in the freezer, and then those are a nice little dessert. Okay, I wanted to try something new, because normally I bake my salmon in the oven, but a couple of weeks ago, I remember that my sister loves like crispy salmon, so I was like, okay, let's try this. And it's now like my new favorite. So then when I added on the stuffing of the spinach inside, it kind of took it to a whole new level. So let me just show you this. So if you can see, this is what the spinach looks like, kind of wilted down. And that's all we're gonna do with it. I'm gonna add it to this bowl, and then I'll add just a little bit of cream cheese, a little bit of garlic powder, and some mozzarella cheese, and we're just gonna let that kind of chill out and not chill out, but kind of cool down before it's time to stuff it into the salmon. I'm gonna put this pan back here because I'm gonna use it again. I am gonna put the rice cauliflower here in this pan that I've already used, so I'm gonna just leave that there. I'm also gonna do some garlic green beans. So I wasn't really planning on doing green beans, but Peter loves green beans, and I was like, all right, well, we can do green beans with the salmon. So I went and grabbed a huge bag of those today. Never in my life would 2 people would I think like, oh, this is a good buy for 2 people. It is 2 pounds of green beans. But the reason that I get so many green beans, we're not gonna eat all these today. I'm gonna saute these with some garlic, and then we'll have it with dinner tonight, but we'll also have it for lunch tomorrow. And then whatever's left over is gonna get tossed into like a niçoise salad, like some seared tuna. We won't use the potatoes, but the seared tuna and the hard-boiled egg, and we might do some roasted radishes in that because that kind of tastes a little bit like roasted potatoes. But anyways, the reason that I buy the big bag is so that I can cook once and use it multiple times over the next couple of days. Now, you might be asking why I'm not cooking my rotisserie chicken. Well, we ate chicken all last week, and I decided that this week I was gonna make tuna salad. So I made that this morning before I left for work, and I made enough tuna salad for a couple of lunches or a couple of snacks throughout the rest of the week. Anyway, I'm gonna get going on this. We'll get some garlic going. I already put some olive oil in my pan, and the reason I'm gonna get started on the green beans now is because it's 6:25. I know we're gonna be eating dinner at like 7:15 or 7:30, but we like our green beans really soft. We don't like them crunchy. So I'm just gonna let them hang out there, steam, and I'll show you how all of that works. I am gonna chop up a little bit more garlic. Can you even see me? You know what I need to do? I need to put this here, like that, and I'm gonna quickly close. Hold on, I'm coming back. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to get the green beans going. I already put some olive oil in the pan, and we're gonna let the garlic kind of flavor the oil, and then we'll get the green beans in there and kind of toss those around a bit, and then I'm gonna show you a little trick I do to get them steamed. So there's my garlic. Can you see that? I have like, I don't know, that's maybe like 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, and when you cook it, it kind of gets sweet, so it's kind of cool. So I'm gonna toss that in there. I don't know if you can hear that, but that kind of is now getting going. Let's see if I can show you this. Check it out. So there is my garlic. It's dancing in the pan. I wish I could have some music going so that maybe we could have some dancing in the kitchen, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so that's getting going. We're gonna open this up. I think this whole bag was like $5. Such a bargain. It's already washed, mostly trimmed. You know, you'll have like a few little pieces like this, but you can pull those off later. And I'm just gonna dump those right into the pan. I'll show you this in a second. Because these will get kind of wilted down a little bit, like the, you see how many green beans I have? That could feed a family of 5, I'm sure, but it's only for us tonight. But I make it that way so that we have more for later. We have more for tomorrow for lunch and more for the salads. I'm just gonna take a couple of these little bits, these little stems off of here. Can somebody call my children and tell them, I've already told them that they should be watching this because they need to learn how to cook too. They do a very good job, but can somebody, I think Peggy is up at the lake right now. Peggy, if you're watching, go call those Ackerman girls off the lake and tell them to watch their mother cooking dinner because they need to learn how to do this. Let's see. So now I've got my green beans going. The green beans are, let's see. Can you hear them sizzling a little bit? So those are kind of cooking up. I'm gonna season them very generously. There is a lot in there. So I'll probably put like a full teaspoon. This is a teaspoon, not a tablespoon. I'll do a full teaspoon of that. And I'm gonna generously do some pepper. Get that going. And then I'll do a little bit of garlic powder. And then I'm going to show you a little trick that I do, which is you kind of get them cooking a little bit with the oils, you get them tossed in there. And then what I like to do, I have my lid. This is my measuring cup, nothing fancy. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of water. I don't know, maybe like a quarter of a cup. It's not very much, maybe a quarter of a cup. You need to watch it so that your green beans don't actually burn. But when your green beans are going super high and they're sizzling, and then you pour, you hear that? There's the steam. Now you cover that sucker up. You cover that baby up and you just let it steam there for a little bit. It's on high right now, but it's kind of slowed down a little bit. I'm gonna turn that on like to medium low, maybe even low. And I'm just gonna let that simmer and I'll like toss it a little bit and get it going. But right now, that little guy is, it's just gonna hang out back there. I'm not even gonna pay attention to it. And that is done. I might season it a little bit when we get closer, but anyway, so that's taken care of. What do you say? Let's see, what should we do now? Oh, let's make the cream cheese mixture with the spinach. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of cream cheese, maybe a quarter of a cup or 2 tablespoons of mozzarella cheese, and then a little bit of seasoning. Now, I have this really kind of, I never knew this, maybe I'm a knucklehead, but do you know on the cream cheese, you see these little lines? See these little lines? Each one of those lines is an ounce. That's an ounce. So when somebody says, oh, you need 2 ounces of cream cheese, I also equate that to a tablespoon. So when somebody says you need 2 tablespoons, I used to like take a tablespoon and try and like measure it in a tablespoon. I just take a slice of that and So we're gonna take 2 tablespoons of this. We are going to add it to our spinach mixture. Now, and our spinach mixture is already, it's kind of still warm. So we're just gonna leave that sitting in there for a second. I'm gonna keep the cream cheese out at room temperature, because if we end up having time to make the fathead dough, then you want your cream cheese and your egg to be at room temperature. So kind of an interesting, fun recipe, the fathead dough. I use it for so much stuff. I don't eat it every day, but it's so versatile. And who would have thought you can make dough from mozzarella cheese, cream cheese, and almond flour and an egg. And it's like the wonder miracle of the world. So we're gonna keep that out for now. I'm gonna add a little bit of mozzarella cheese, nothing fancy. If you wanna get organic, if you wanna grate it yourself, you go right ahead. I try my best, but I am short on time most of the time, and I like to find quick little tips and tricks to make things go a little bit faster in the kitchen. So I'm gonna do, let's do 3 tablespoons of mozzarella cheese. Let's put that off to the side. I did 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. I'm gonna do a little bit of garlic powder, probably like, I don't know, 1/2 teaspoon. And maybe a tiny bit of salt. Okay, so there's my garlic powder. My green beans are happy. And I'll get a fork so we can, this is, it's like there's no rhyme or reason to this. I don't know if you can see this very well, but basically you're just mashing. Let's see if we can turn this down this way. Let's see. Okay, well, I'm just doing the best I can here. We're gonna mash the cream cheese into the spinach and mash it with the mozzarella cheese. And it looks like I need a little bit more cream cheese, maybe just a tad more. And I'm gonna show you this super cool creamy mixture, and we're gonna stuff that into the salmon in a minute. I'm gonna add a little bit more cream cheese, just a tad, because we want this to be more creamy. So I'm adding another tablespoon, so 3 tablespoons. I don't have any specific recipe for this yet. I will probably get something up online. Hi, Lori. I'll get something up online more specific. I tell you, the funny thing about getting recipes up online is that people want to know exact, not necessarily the exact measurements. I'm fine with that, but they want to know the exact nutritional count. And I utilize a nutritional calculator. So I do my best, as does every food blogger. We do our best to kind of get the exact measurements of the nutritional amounts, but it's never exact. And so I just, I try my best. But when I have to get a recipe up online, I want to be accurate and I want to give people those amounts, but I don't measure out how much salmon on each fillet is. Okay, so check it out. I just made, can you see this? See this creamy mixture? I am gonna kind of set that to the side. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this in the fridge. I'm gonna chill it out so that it gets a little harder, because when it's time to stuff the salmon, I want it to be almost like a Play-Doh or a paste so that it will stay inside the salmon. So we're gonna put that right into the refrigerator. And guess what time it is? It's time for me to have a soda because it's hotter than hell in here. Of course, I shouldn't be wearing jeans and a long sleeve shirt, but I just got home from work and I threw on some different pants, and There you go. Okay, guess what time it is? It's time to make the cauliflower rice. Let's put this here. The cauliflower rice is, you know, it's a great substitute for white rice. And if you add flavor to it, and if you steam it, and I add a little bit of onions to it, what happens is it kind of takes on the flavor of regular rice. Well, not really. My friend Tracy would not say that. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to my pan. That's probably like a tablespoon or two. And I'm going to swirl that around a little bit. I've already chopped my onions here. I love getting these. I cannot always find these in the produce section. Well, I don't know why it's freezing up. I might have to stop and make sure I get onto a better network, but I can't stop now. So we'll have to figure out the network issues later. Sorry about that. So anyways, this is, I usually find this in the produce section, but you can also find it in the freezer section. And so whenever I do find these in the produce section, I'll buy a couple of them and then I pop them in the freezer completely unopened, because then I'll just add them to my pan. Even frozen is totally fine. So, you know, you don't have to get organic. It's better to get organic, but if you don't, then there's no judgment from me. I know some people are on a budget. I know I can't always find this stuff. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I am going to saute my onions. Now I used a jumbo onion and I just used half of it. The other half is in my fridge. We're gonna turn that up, get that sauteing. Come on, baby. That's good. Let's take a look at my green beans. Ooh, they are looking nice. Can you see those? Let's take a look. See how nice and bright green those babies are? I love that. Ooh, and they smell delicious too. Okay, so my onions are sauteing in my big pan here. And then as soon as these soften up a little bit, I am gonna add the cauliflower and some chopped parsley and some butter and a little bit of water, and then I'm gonna let that steam a little bit. So we'll just let those kind of hang out for a little bit and saute a little bit. I wanted to talk for a nanosecond about the pan I'm gonna use for my salmon. I don't have a lot of non-stick pans, but I find that for eggs and something like this crispy salmon, it is absolutely imperative. I don't know what the studies are and all of the details about non-stick stuff, and if you want to get into that, then go right ahead. But for the crispy salmon, I always use non-stick, and for my bomblet, which we're gonna do sometime, it's my absolute favorite breakfast slash brunch, because I don't eat breakfast. We'll talk about that another time. It's the recipe that I learned from a porn star, but we're keeping this PG. Anyways, this is the pan I'm going to use for the salmon, and it has to have a lid, because at the tail end, we're going to put the lid on. After you've crispied up on both sides, you're going to put the lid on, turn the heat off, and you're going to let it just sit there for a little bit and continue to cook the inside of your salmon. So that is the salmon pan that we're going to use. Okay, my onions are looking sweet. I love it. And now it's time to put in, I got 2 bags of the cauliflower, because again, I'm gonna make this. We're gonna have some of it tonight. I mean, there's only gonna be 2 of us, so we'll eat some tonight. We'll eat some for lunch tomorrow. I might make something totally different tomorrow night for dinner, and our cauliflower rice is already gonna be made. I might make a chicken dish, or I don't know. I'll figure it out tomorrow, but I know that tacos are on the menu, and I know we're going out to eat a little bit this week. It's my niece. Shout out to Ryan Linthicum. Birthday on Thursday. No, her birthday's not on Thursday. Her birthday's at the end of the month, but we're going to go celebrate because she's coming into town. Okay, so 2 bags of my cauliflower rice. We'll get those out of the way. Guys, we're cooking. So, can you see my cauliflower? I've got a lot of cauliflower there. I'm just gonna stir that up, get those onions mixed in there with that. It's kind of like a crumble. It's not tiny like a rice. However, once the once the cauliflower steams and cooks down, you want it to actually be a little bit bigger, because then as it steams down, it'll sort of hold its texture and kind of have the chew of rice. So anyways, we're just gonna let that mix a little bit in there. Again, we're gonna add some salt. My favorite salt container. Probably, that's about a teaspoon. We might add a little bit more later. I'm gonna test it. Let's get some pepper in there. You guys, this is not fancy stuff. This is super easy. You just have to kind of get in here. And, you know, quite frankly, you need to help the cook out, which I have a lot of help in the kitchen. Peter helps me with all the dishes. Piper always unloads the groceries, helps put them away, and she always unloads the dishwasher. And then everybody has some input on what we're going to be eating this week. I sort of throw a few ideas out there, but then everybody else can kind of chime in on what they want to have and what they don't want to have. So anyways, okay, so we've got our seasonings in there. We've got our seasonings in there. We've got the onions mixed in there. See, it's sizzling. Oh shoot, I forgot to put that back on. Sorry. Listen, this isn't rocket science, but I'm just doing the best I can. And let's see. That's doing well. I'm actually going to turn up the heat just a tiny bit on that guy. We'll get that going a little bit more. Okay, it's time to chop the parsley. I'm not going to use all of this. See this big, lovely thing? I love fresh parsley. I'm just going to use half of this. And I'll just chop like this, put that away. I am going to do a quick rinse. See how I did that? I just washed it and then I squeeze it in my hand. There's no reason to use paper towels to dry it all out. Just squeeze it out. It's gonna get chopped anyways. You know, don't get too fancy about it. What's my time doing? Hey, we're making very good time. All right, so let's chop our parsley super thin. Let's see how that's doing well. And guess what? I got asked to be on a podcast. I'm not sure when it's gonna air, but this gal that I met in San Diego at Low Carb USA, she emailed me and she was like, hey, can you be on can I interview you for my podcast? So I will let you know when that is gonna hit the books, because one of the things that I find is that there's a lot of doctors kind of getting on board with this, and there's a lot of keto coaches that are getting on board with helping people with trying to live this sort of lifestyle, but a lot of them don't really talk about when the rubber meets the road and you get in the kitchen, what do you actually do? What do you eat? How do you cook this way? How do you make this food? Well, first of all, it's just real food. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It is just real food. And if people can just remember that, the keto and low carb is not a big deal. It's just real food for me. Now, there are some adjustments. I'm not going to be eating pizza, but I have fathead pizza, and I don't eat it all the time. but you know, I'm not gonna be eating cookies, but I have my keto cookies, and I don't eat them all the time, but they are what I like to call a bridge to eating this way forever. Because I think when people think like, oh my God, I can never have a cookie ever again, then they've said, well, I'm not gonna do this. Well, you don't have to say you're never gonna have a cookie ever again. I mean, I'm human. I occasionally have a piece of bread or a cookie, but I don't do that all the time. I rarely do that actually, but you know, I'm human and I can have that and it's not gonna ruin my life. I've been doing this now for 2 years, and I have been able to sleep better, think better, have so much more energy, effortlessly maintain my weight. I'm never on a diet anymore. I never feel deprived anymore. So I think if people can just sort of shift their thinking about that and realize there's nothing funky about it. It's just real food. I am going to add some butter to the cauliflower. I'm going to keep chopping up my parsley. Parsley just adds sort of like a fresh flavor to it. And I just like fine chopping of the parsley. And yeah, so there you go. I'm excited to talk on this is about, let's see, can you see that? This is about, I would say, a little bit over half a cup. It's not a full cup, but it's a little bit over half a cup. So I'm going to put that into my cauliflower. And I've got the butter going in there. Can you see that? So I've got my cauliflower rice and the parsley and the seasoning and the, I'm gonna add a little bit with my trusty tool, a little bit of water just so that the bottom doesn't burn. I'm gonna keep my green beans going, cauliflower rice. This is looking pretty darn good. And this is like almost done. We'll kind of put that off to the side. Let's start thinking about what we're gonna do with that salmon. I'm gonna get it prepared and stuffed. It really only takes a couple of minutes to cook it on each side. So I'll just get it ready and then we will, what do you say we make the chocolate covered roasted pecans? That might be fun to do. We're gonna keep the that off to the side. Okay, so we're gonna move the cauliflower off to the side. We're gonna turn that off. We will get our pan ready for our salmon. You need a lid because at the end of the salmon, you put the lid on and you let it just kind of not marinate, but kind of steam cook the inside, kind of like its own little oven. So I mentioned before that I like to get Santa Monica Seafood. Their salmon is always the best, and actually they sell it now just at the supermarket, so that makes it easy for me. And so we're gonna put that there. We'll put the parsley away. My cream spinach is getting nice and solidified, so it'll be nice to like be able to put that back into the fish. So here are my little 3 pieces of salmon. Let's put these. I'm gonna put just like a regular plate. Put that there. Can you even believe, like, this is my whole kitchen. This is where I do everything. Everything happens right here. It's like this little tiny spot. But it's mine, so, you know, I make it work, and it does not have to be fancy. Okay, I want to show you something about this salmon. And the reason that I get this salmon, see how it's got like a nice thickness here? It's, I don't know, maybe that's just over an inch. So I'm gonna do like a little tiny slit right there. I'm not gonna go all the way through, but I'm going to slice in here. I'm gonna make like a little pocket for the spinach mixture that I'm gonna put in. So we're gonna get those out. throw that away. Wash the hands, get this out of the way. Oh my God, you know what I forgot? I forgot to put, I'm such a knucklehead. Okay, I forgot to put Parmesan cheese in our creamy mixture. So I'm gonna add a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and it's gonna make it, it's gonna seize it up just a little bit more. So let's see, let's put 2 tablespoons. Again, if this doesn't all go inside the salmon, then I'm gonna save this cream spinach and we'll just heat it up and eat it as like a little side with some chicken or even like some scrambled eggs. Add some of that cream spinach to the scrambled eggs. Oh my God, so delish. So just another example of cooking once and then utilizing it in all sorts of different ways, and so that you're never really wasting. I like to rotate my fridge. I go in there, I don't know, every other day, and I kind of just what I call shop my fridge. So I'm like, okay, I've got this, and this. What do I feel like eating? What do we feel like making? Oh, wait a second, before I forget, I wanted to do a shout out to Birdman in Northern California for coining the term keto fabulous. I'm gonna try and live up to that term, and thank you for encouraging me, and I love you, Birdman. Keep up the good work, and you're the best. So anyways, let's all be keto fabulous. Okay, so there is my creamed spinach thingy-majig. I'm gonna cover up my cauliflower rice because it's still warm and I want to keep it like kind of steaming a little bit. So I'm gonna grab my tin foil, and I am not a huge tin foil user, a little bit, but I'm a huge parchment paper person, and you'll see I'm gonna use it for the fathead pizza. It makes your life so easy. It's amazing. So, here we go. Salmon. Can you see this? Yes, you can. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take the tip of my knife. I wish I could get the camera a little bit closer, but I'll show you in just a second. Ooh, that's a nice pocket. There we go. Okay. Here's the second one. There we go. And here is the third one. Just a little pocket. See the little pocket? Just enough to stick the creamed spinach mixture inside of there. So I'm gonna just wipe my hands a little bit. I'm gonna just take, I don't even know how much I'll use, maybe like a tablespoon of the cream spinach. See, just a little tablespoon. I'm gonna put that right inside there. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. And we're gonna just, it doesn't have to be beautiful. This is not a 5-star restaurant. And, you know, we're just doing the best we can. We're trying to get dinner on the table for our families. And they will thank us for it. I know they will. Did somebody get my children watching? I think they should. All right, let's see. I've got 3 salmons ready to go. I want to show you what this is going to look like. Can you see that? Look at how pretty that is. So there's just a little bit in there. It gives it a nice flavor. And then what I'm gonna do is we'll put those on the plate. And you know, I'm gonna upload these, all of these episodes onto YouTube. So if you wanna see them again, you can, or if you wanna direct people to see them on YouTube, that would be fantastic. The more people I get seeing these videos, the more people I help trying to cook real food in the kitchen. It's nothing fancy. Okay, washing my hands. Let's use a little soap. And we're gonna season. We're gonna season the top of the salmon. Don't worry, I'm gonna clean this too. We're gonna season the top of the salmon, little salt, little pepper, and then we're gonna kind of just sit those off to the side because I don't wanna really cook those. I don't wanna cook these until I gotta time it right. Peter gets home, gets here around 7:30, and we're gonna cook these so that they're ready at like, I don't know, 7:25. Just a little sprinkle of salt on each one, and a little sprinkle of pepper on each one, and those, check it out. These are ready. How easy is that? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm actually gonna put these in the fridge until it's time, because then they're gonna get chilled up, and the cream spinach will get harder, so when I get it in the pan, it'll melt, but it won't go, you know what I mean? Okay, so we'll put those in there, and we are going to get rid of this, and I think it's time to, should we make the fathead dough? I don't know. Should we make the fathead dough? Or the, let's make the roasted pecan drizzled in chocolate, because I've already kind of got that started, and that's kind of a nice little dessert to always have. And I send, Peter to work with a couple of those, and maybe Hawk Media will get a few of those. Those are all my friends at Hawk Media. They get lots of my desserts because, again, I don't eat it every day, but it's nice to have it, and I love making it. So my latest recipe is my lemon icebox pie. It is so delicious. I just took pictures last night. I actually had to do 3 or 4 runs of it because the first time I made it, it was perfect. The second time I made it was a flop, and I was like, what the hell happened? You would die. I gotta post a picture of it because the flop, it was so disappointing. And then the third time I made it, it was like, so amazing and beautiful. You know what, I'm gonna show you. I'll show you what it looks like. Well, I don't know if this really gives it the whole thing, but this is my lemon icebox pie. My kids, when they were little, they loved this. But the old way that I used to make it with that sweetened condensed milk, that canned sweetened condensed milk, that is so full of sugar and chemicals. So I recreated sweetened condensed milk in a low carb version, and I was able to recreate their lemon icebox pie. If you follow me on Instagram at the Kellie Kitchen, there's a picture of the cute little lemon tart. So you can see that there, and I like to take really beautiful pictures, and everybody loves looking at beautiful pictures. Nobody wants to look at a plate of food that you're like, what is that? So I try to get really beautiful pictures. I try to get the recipe perfect so that when I actually get it onto my website, it's, pretty to look at, and lots of people will want to actually make it and want to eat it. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, we are going to make roasted pecan. We already roasted the pecans last week. And so these, can you see what those are? Those are Lily's chocolate chips. We make these with, or we don't make these. These are made with stevia. So they have no sugar added. And again, I don't eat these all the time because number 1, they do have carbs, but you only need a little bit. And number 2, these are expensive. The good news is that up until this point, Lily's has been the only game in town. And you know what? They're not the only game in town now. So there's a new company called Let's Bake Believe. And Let's Bake Believe, I think you can get it at Walmart, but they have semi-sweet, milk chocolate, sorry, semi-sweet, dark chocolate, and white chocolate chips. So, and they're all made with stevia and they're low sugar. But anyways, these, when you get them at like Whole Foods, one bag is like, I don't know, $8. So that's a lot for a bag of chocolate chips. But when I buy them in bulk. I buy them in a package of 12 of these, and it brings the price significantly down. I think I have a discount code on my website. If you go to like the shop section, I think you can get them that way. I'm not sure. I'm not a techie, but I'm trying. So if anybody out there knows how to or wants to help me, you can let me know. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bag of chocolate chips and let's see, where are my scissors? I'm going to take my bag of chocolate chips and we're going to move this way now. And we're just going to melt these puppies. We're just gonna melt these with like a little tiny, maybe like a teaspoon of olive oil in the microwave. And the trick is that you only do, see, that's one bag. It's not a lot, but they smell so good. But again, I don't eat them all the time, and it's kind of nice to have like a little something sweet. So I'm going to take my trusty Trader Joe's olive oil, and I put like a teaspoon. And the trick here is that you want to mix the chocolate chips in with the oil, but you don't want like oil dripping down all the way to the bottom. You just want your chocolate chips to be coated. I'm going to show you, because when you get them out of the bag, they're kind of, I don't know if you can see, they were kind of waxy. And then when you get the olive oil just to coat them a little bit, they get shiny. Let's see if you can see. See how shiny those are? So what you want to do is you want to just coat them a little bit so that they're all shiny. And then we're going to pop these in to the microwave. Now, the thing about if you've ever done chocolate in the microwave, then you know short increments, because if you go, oh, I'm gonna melt those, let's put them in for 2 or 3 minutes, you're gonna burn those suckers. You're gonna burn the bottom, and then the top is not gonna be melted at all. So you do like, oh, hi Grant. You do like 30 seconds, and then you pull them out and you mix them. 30 seconds, pull them out and mix them. 30 seconds, pull them out and mix them. So we're gonna turn that on for 30 seconds, get that going. I think we should do the fathead dough. Everybody wants to see how that's made, and I'm a little bit hesitant because we're not eating fathead dough tonight, and I have no plans this week. However, I do know that I can make the fathead dough and roll it out so it's ready to go, and I can freeze it. So later on, I can pull it out, let it thaw for like 10 minutes, put some marinara sauce on it, some cheese, and some pepperoni, and or vegetables, or if I make my barbecue chicken pizza, or my Thai chicken pizza, or my Mexican taco pizza. Oh my God, my Mexican taco pizza is the best. Maybe we'll do that next week. Okay, so I just did 30 seconds. You see that? It's starting to melt, but not completely. And we're just gonna stir that baby up a little bit. And let's see. We're gonna pop that in for another 30 seconds. And we'll do that. Okay, so for the fathead dough, it's only like 4 ingredients. And one of the things about fathead dough is that when you melt the cheeses together, you've got like this hot glob of cheese, and then you're gonna add your almond flour. You don't wanna add a cold egg from the refrigerator, so I did not pull out an egg, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you how I bring an egg to room temperature. Okay, I wanted to show you also this. This is my favorite eggs. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because it's called the Happy Eggs, and the Happy Egg Company, and they're ridiculously expensive, but they just make me happy to buy them because They say that the little happy chickens get to roam over 8 acres of free range, and they're organic. And again, I don't eat a lot of them, but you know, like when I make a quiche, I'll use like 3 or 4 at once, or my lemon icebox pie, I used 3 of them. When I make egg salad, obviously I use a lot of them, but they just make me happy. So anyways, happy egg. I don't have a link or anything. They're, you know, just really lovely people. So my egg is cold right now, but hold on a second. I've got to just deal with my chocolate chips. So if you can see, my chocolate chips are starting to get really melted. See that? Melted. Those need one more round, because we want the chocolate to be pourable, because I'm going to show you how I'm going to deal with these the roasted pecans. Okay, so we'll put those in for 30 more seconds. Here are my roasted pecans. See these things? I did these last week on my Facebook Live. I like to do them kind of in bulk, and then I just keep them in the freezer. They're so much better when you roast them that way, because when they're raw, I don't know, there's something about roasting them that gives them a little extra, and I just like a little extra. So, anyways, oh yes, my chocolate is nice and drippy. This is good stuff here. Okay, can you actually see this? I hope you can see this. Okay, I'm gonna turn this like this. Yeah, so I want you to check this out. I'm just gonna put like half a teaspoon of chocolate right on top of each little guy, and the chocolate will seep down and kind of attach to each of the nuts in there. And then I'll just put these in the fridge or the freezer and let them harden up. And then I can take them out of this container, this muffin tin thing, and store them in like a Ziploc bag. And then again, you know, if somebody is having a hankering for some chocolate, you just go right in there. Now, the key is you can't eat these all the time. You cannot, you know, pop like 10 of them before you go to bed. But if you want to live this lifestyle and you want to have a little something sweet, don't be a brat about it and eat like a whole thing of them. Just have a couple, because I'd rather have a couple of these and be able to eat like this than to be like a yo-yoer again. You know what I mean? Oh my God, these are looking so pretty. If I don't use all the chocolate, I will keep it in the fridge and I will use it for something else. I'm not sure what, but there's no exact science to this. I just am kind of winging it. I used to make these all the time when I started keto, and something kind of, you know, happens to a lot of people that start keto is they think like, oh, this food is all keto friendly. It's all low carb. I can eat whatever I want. Well, you know what? The carbs all creep up. So they all count, and don't think that, you know, just because it's low carb fathead pizza that you can have a whole fathead pizza. But if you want to live a ketogenic lifestyle and low carb, and you are hankering for a slice of pizza, then make the fathead pizza. It's a great bridge, and I would bet that every doctor that follows or that agrees with a low carb lifestyle would agree that if you can have a low carb version, just a little bit of it, so that it's a nice little bridge to compliance, to full compliance of living this way, I think every single doctor would buy into that theory. I certainly do. If I had to say that I could never have a piece of chocolate again or a piece of pizza again, then it would really bum me out. Oh my God, you guys, these look so pretty. I am not forgetting about my green beans or my salmon. It is 10 after 7, and it is time to get my salmon going. I have 4 more of these little guys, and then they're gonna go into the freezer, and I'm gonna show you what they look like because they're just so pretty. I put I think about a teaspoon on each one. Kind of cool. And the chocolate will just seep down. I probably have like 2 teaspoons of chocolate left. Maybe a tablespoon full of chocolate left. You know, not very much, but I'll save that for something else. I'll just put that to the side. Okay, look at this. Oh my God. How pretty are those? Wow. Okay, I just want to make note of something. I don't want to jinx it, but I haven't dropped anything yet. So this is all good news. My green beans are going. We're going to get the salmon going in a nanosecond. And I think we ran out of time for the fathead dough. So we're going to do that next week. I promise. We'll do that first next week because I got to get the salmon going. But first, let me get the little treats into the refrigerator. So I'm just going to take a cookie sheet because my muffin tin is one of those silicone babies. So I'm going to put this on here, and look at how pretty those are. Yes, you can put these on your ice cream. Coconut ice cream. I wish I could make some for you tonight. Okay, so these are going into the freezer. And before I get off, I'm going to show you what they look like. Totally done. Okay, so let's get the salmon going. So we've got the salmon. I've got my pot here. Let's check those green beans. This is so exciting. Oh, they're getting nice and soft. We love, love, love soft green beans. Oh my God, those smell so delish. Now, I made a mistake and I have a few little ends there that I didn't trim off, but who's watching? No one, right? I just want to show you how pretty my green beans look. They're garlic flavored and salty, and they are still getting soft. But now what I'm going to do so that I don't burn them is I'm going to turn the heat off completely, and I'm just going to let them sit there. Now, if you like your green beans crunchy, then probably you shouldn't have left them there that long, but we like them really soft. So anyways, I'm going to let's get the salmon going. We're running tight on time. It's 7:12. Peter's going to be home in like 10 or 15 minutes. We're going to get a little bit of olive oil. Can you see this? Let's turn this way. Ooh, there's my pan. See my pan right there? So we're going to get a little bit of olive oil. I'd say that's about a tablespoon. We're going to get my salmon out of the fridge. I'm so sorry that we did not do the fathead pizza dough because it's really special and it's super easy to make. I just ran out of time. I'm so sorry. I promise, we will do fathead dough next week. And maybe we'll do it with like my taco pizza because that's a favorite. Okay, so let me get the salmon. See my salmon? Isn't that like pretty? So clearly, Peter and I are not going to eat 3 pieces of salmon. He will eat 1 piece. I'll eat probably like a half. And then tomorrow for lunch, he'll have a full one and I'll have a half of one. And we'll do it like with some green beans or whatever. Okay, so you see my pan is getting nice and hot. We're getting the oil nice and hot. My cauliflower is looking good. I think we're ready. Let's do this. Right? Are we ready yet? I want the pan to be hot so that when I get the salmon on top, it'll sizzle and it'll give me a nice crisp crust on the salmon. And we're gonna do it for like 2 or 3 minutes on the downside, and then we're gonna gently flip them over to the skin side, so that it'll be skin side down, and then we'll crisp up that, and then we'll do that for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then we're gonna turn the heat off and put the lid on and just let it sit there for a little bit, and then I think we might be done. So anyways, here we go. Can you hear that? Oh, it's good. It is good. And if you think your kids won't eat this, don't give them a choice. Don't give them the chicken nuggets. Give them this. And if they don't eat it, I know this is harsh, but then they just don't eat dinner. And they're gonna have a great breakfast tomorrow morning with eggs and bacon and whatever. Okay, so there is my salmon. Can you hear it? Isn't that pretty? So that's crisping up. I'm gonna cook it for like 2 or 3 minutes, and while I'm doing that, I like to just kind of like clean up the kitchen a little bit. I really don't have a whole lot to clean. Everything kind of came from packaging. These were all my packages. My spinach, my garlic, any of my produce, my cauliflower. These are all just packages. All gonna go into the recycling. There's like 2 dishes to clean here, and my salmon is very happy, and I am quite delighted. You know what I forgot to do? Check it out. I salted and seasoned the pink side of the salmon. Now, let's do this side. I am not a salmon skin eater. However, when you add the flavor to both sides, it kind of enhances everything. And so, you just kind of go with it. Okay, so there's my salmon. If there's something that you want to make, or something that you have a question about, or something that your kids, you want to figure out a new way to do it, like chicken nuggets. I have the most amazing keto-friendly chicken nugget. You use ground chicken, and believe it or not, you use pork rinds. You don't taste the pork rinds, but they're a nice binder to it. Those are fantastic. And then you dip them in either low sugar ketchup, or you can dip them in buffalo wing sauce or ranch or whatever. And those kids love those too. Let's see. Ooh, my salmon is happy. Okay, I'm gonna get my spatula. How's it doing? This could be a total flop. I mean, I haven't dropped anything yet, but it could happen. Let's take a look. Not ready yet, but it's very close. It's been, I don't know, like 2 minutes. And it seems very happy in the pan. I might add just a tad of butter. I'm not sure yet, because the butter will give it sort of like a nice creamy flavor, but I don't even know that it really needs it. Let's take a look. Oh my God, this is so pretty. You guys, I can't wait to show you. Okay, let's do all of them. Wow. Oh my God, I'm like a Michelin star chef. Woo! Look at those babies. They're so pretty. Oh my God. Oh my God, I cannot wait to eat dinner. Okay, so now that the salmon is doing its thing, we're gonna let the bottom side cook for like a minute. Then I'm gonna turn the heat off. I'm gonna put the lid on. I'm just gonna let it sit there for a little bit. Not for the whole time because I don't want it to overcook. And I'll take the lid off and plate it up and all that sort of stuff. Okay, now I'm going to oh yeah. Do you see my cauliflower rice? Let's check this out. Oh my gosh. You cannot put this on your ice cream, but there's lots of things we can put on the ice cream. So there's my cauliflower rice. It's really delish. There's my stuffed salmon. And there's my green beans. It's a ton of food, I know. But I love cooking once and having some for tomorrow and having some for leftovers because I work all day long. You know, I don't always have a ton of time to be able to do a lot of this stuff. But, okay. I think my salmon on the other side is done, but the pan is still hot, so I'm just gonna turn the heat off. I'm gonna take my trusty lid. I'm gonna put that right on top of the salmon. So that'll just sit there. See, it's totally happy. It's gonna sit there and it's gonna cook for maybe like another minute or so, and then I'll pull it off of the heat so that it doesn't get overcooked. I'm gonna keep my lid on my cauliflower rice because that is still nice and warm. And let's take a look at my my chocolate pecans because I think that they take like 2 seconds to harden up. Let me see, where did I put them? Ho, ho, ho! Almost ready. I just thought of something. So I tried this brand, and if you have kids that like you want to try and lower their carbs, second the crap that they eat. They're really cute. They're these little pepperoni pizzas, and they're only 4 carbs for 4 little mini rounds. So they're like 1 carb each round, and they're pepperoni pizza. And guess what they use for the crust? They use ground chicken and Parmesan cheese. And they're really good. They're really, really, really good, I promise. So again, I don't eat these all the time. I like to eat real food. However, these are great to have in your freezer, to pull out. And, you know, in a pinch, you have an option. I don't have a link for these yet or a discount code. However, I reached out to this company because if anybody wants to try these or anybody wants to get these at a discount, I'm working on getting a discount for these. Maybe get like 15% off. And I think 1 case has 12 pizzas in it, which is a lot. And you can get these at the supermarket, but if you have a big freezer and you want to have 12 pizzas because you want to have something go-to and you don't cook all the time, this is a great option. And I don't have any affiliation with them yet they haven't asked me to do this. I just tried these and I really, really, really like them. So, I also wanted to show you, I got on a little popsicle kick. Check it out. Peanut butter and chocolate. The pizzas are called Real Good. That's the brand name. It's called Real Good. And you can get them, I just got those at the regular supermarket, but you can get them at Whole Foods, but you gotta look for them because they're not, they might be on a little bit of a lower shelf or a little bit of a higher shelf, or because they've got tons and tons of shelves of CPK and Tombstone. Anyways, I wanted to show you, I'm totally into popsicles, and this recipe is on my website. It's peanut butter and chocolate, but this time I used dark chocolate. So these are a super fun treat, and I have like 30 of these in my freezer. So if anybody is in the neighborhood, please stop by because I have about 30 different variations in my freezer. I've got lemon cream, strawberry cream, peanut butter banana, peanut butter chocolate, toasted coconut, and guess what? It's almost time to call it quits. I'm going to show you. These are my, if you can see, these are my roasted pecans that I just added a little bit of chocolate to, and they're now frozen. Do you see? I'm not going to eat it now because I'm going to eat dinner soon, but that is just like a nice little, like a candy, and they're low carb. They are a treat. Don't eat them all the time, but now I can take them out of my tin and I can just add them to like a Ziploc bag, and those are in my freezer. So I think we're all good. Oh, somebody loves those? Yes. You're gonna get some of those when you come visit me this week. I think we're done with dinner. This has been so fun. Let me know if you liked this, if there's anything that you would like to see me cook, and come back again and see me, because I'm hoping to share and teach everybody how easy cooking dinner is. I've been in the kitchen for 1 hour, or maybe an hour and 10 minutes, and look at all this food that I've created with not a lot of mess, and it's amazing. So one last time, let's just look at dinner tonight. So we have got crispy salmon stuffed with a cream spinach. We've got cauliflower rice with parsley and onions, and we have garlic green beans, nice and soft like we like them. We made a dessert. We made, what else did we make? I think that's it. That's enough. All right, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.